Let's look at CRM for the moment, and let's try. I'll come back to import routines in a moment, okay? But essentially, this whole company setup wizard is to remind you that you need to do some things, yeah, and get them all done. Now, you don't have to do them all here. All you need to do here is create the new company database and finish. Done. And then you can go into each individual module and into the setup and enter opening balances or change the preferences. Yeah, it's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, right, so let's just go back into System Manager and our import wizard separately. Okay, and look at, let's say, CRM leads. Okay, so I'm going to try and import a database of prospects. Okay, now we did something called create template, and what this was designed to do was to help you when you actually get your data in a spreadsheet or whatever. Okay, help you know what fields you could actually import. Okay, so this launches Excel, and what it's saying is, if you want to import prospects, yeah, make sure the prospect name column is called prospect name. Okay, we don't expect you to fill this sheet out. What we're doing is we're saying this is the name that you need to use on top of the column if you want to import data to that field. And what we try to do is include all the fields that you could possibly want to import a prospect. Okay, now let me get a file, hopefully, that I've already created. And okay, prospects. Okay, so here's some data that I've taken straight out of a competitive product, 950. Okay, and basically, what you need to do in this database, okay, is change the headings. Okay, so if I'm going to, this is the customer base out of line 50, but essentially, if I want to import these as prospects, then what I would do is I would have to write prospect code. Oops, if I could actually type prospect code, prospect. You have to actually type these properly, otherwise it won't recognize them. Prospect name, okay, address 1, address 2. Okay, now this looks like the town. Okay, so we could call this city, and that does look like county, so we could call it county, and that looks like postal code, the postal code field. Okay, and contact. Okay, let me just have a quick look up here to make sure I've got the contact name right. On the contact field, we split it into contact name, so basically you can just put a name in there, full stop, or you could actually split it up into the salutation like Mr. Tony Parsonage or whatever. Yeah, okay, so let's just go back to my prospect record, and contact name it would have to be. Contact name. And here we have telephone. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with all this, but essentially I'm just going to delete all the columns ahead of this. Okay. And so what we're going to do is basically, okay, just import these as a list. Okay, right, so save. Okay. I'm going to call this prospects with headings. Okay, so I'm going to close that now. Close my template. Yep. No, I don't want to save that. Come out there. Okay, so now I'm going to go browse files, prospects with headings, open it up, go next. What it does is display defaults. So if I've not included anything in my template, like currency or whatever it might be, it's going to default some things in for me from the default template. So what it's going to say is, right, there's one of the files that you wanted to import. Start importing. And so I'm importing prospect records. Successfully imported the table. Gives me the full description. Cool. Okay, so then when I look at my prospects, we should have quite a few more in there, which are all the ones that we just imported. Okay, that is basically it. There is a bit more to this, but it's more technical. This is supposed to be just a kind of simple demonstration. So the core functionality of System Manager, main things about it are user role and essentially new company wizard. Setting up a new company, we've tried to make very simple, and trying to split out, user menus and user roles. We've also made it quite simple, I think. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Okay, bye.